Hi, I'm Susan Taylor with Scripps Health in San Diego, California. Children benefit significantly from healthy eating. According to the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, 1 in 5 children and teens are obese. Healthy eating habits keeps weight under control, supports brain development, strong bones, even boosts immunity. Joining us to talk about this is Dr. Scarlett Chen. She's a pediatrician with the Scripps Clinic Medical Group in San Diego, California. Doctor, thanks so much for being with us.
Thanks for having me.
So go into more detail. What do you mean by healthy eating habits for kids?
So, when we talk about healthy eating habits for kids, I really want to help promote kids eating regular meals with nutritious foods to help them grow and thrive. And I also want them to have a healthy relationship with food.
And what foods should they avoid?
I tell kids to avoid foods that are high in calories but low in nutrition. So, that might include foods that are high in salt, high in sugar, high in saturated fats. We think about things like fast food or chips or candy, great as once in a while treats, but not great for our everyday nutrition. The other thing that I tell kids to avoid are really drinks with a lot of sugar added to them. So that might be soda, or even juices can sneakily have a lot of sugar in them. I always recommend parents try to encourage water drinking, making your own juices or smoothies at home to use whole fruits.
Give me an example of breakfast, lunch, and dinner.
Yeah, so for breakfast, you might consider doing some overnight oats, which gets you your grains, maybe add in some peanut butter or some yogurt for your protein, and some frozen berries for your fruit, and maybe some milk as well to hit that dairy category. If you're packing a school lunch for your kid, you could think about something like a ham and cheese with some bread, maybe a fried rice as your main with some protein like chicken or tofu, and then some sides of fruits and veggies to keep things interesting. For dinner, I like to do, for instance, a roasted meal, maybe a roasted chicken or fish. You can add in some veggies or potatoes into that meal as well. And I like to use fruit for dessert because they've already got so much natural sweetness.
Let's say your kids are buying their breakfast or lunch at school. You don't have that kind of control over what they're eating at that point.
Yes, that's true. And a lot of kids do get their breakfast and lunch at school. And so, in that case, when the schools send home their menus, you can review it with your kid ahead of time to say, hey, it looks like today your options are going to be pizza or chicken wings or maybe a quesadilla. Let's talk about these different things and what might be good for your body. And let's also talk about the fact that they've got a salad bar or they've got milk available or they've got fruits. What are some things that you can choose at school to also help build a healthy lunch while you're there?
And is breakfast the most important meal of the day?
It absolutely is, especially because we see more and more kids skipping breakfast because they're so busy and they just have to get out of the door in the morning. But eating breakfast helps gets kids' metabolism going in the morning. It's been correlated with lower rates of obesity, high blood sugar, and high cholesterol as they grow older. And it positively impacts their school performance. They're shown to have better concentration, better test scores, and more energy, which makes sense because most of school happens before lunch, their next meal of the day.
And at what age should you start to introduce these healthy eating habits?
We recommend introducing healthy eating habits from as young of an age as possible. We really want kids to be introduced to a wide variety of healthy foods from the start because this helps them more naturally continue these habits in their lifestyles as they get older.
There's this long time phrase, you are what you eat. What are the benefits of healthy eating and starting that healthy eating early on?
There are so many benefits. We like to talk about in our visits the ways that different foods impact the different parts of our body and our growth. So we might think about proteins helping us to have a strong heart or strong muscles. We might think of calcium as helping to build strong bones and teeth. We talk about brain development or keeping up a strong immune system. And if we think about preventing diseases later on in life, healthy eating, especially at younger ages, helps to lower the risk of many medical conditions later on in life. That might include obesity, heart problems, high blood pressure, diabetes or blood sugar problems, and even joint problems.
And what about a daily routine? Eating basically at the same time every day.
So I do encourage families to incorporate meals at the same time every day. Kids like structure and predictability. And so when you eat meals at the same time, it helps them build a routine and helps them regulate their bodies. So their appetites, their sense of fullness after they eat, their metabolism, and even their circadian rhythms, meaning when they're feeling tired and when they're feeling awake.
And what about snacks?
So I love using fruits and vegetables as a snack. So that might be fruits, especially berries, tangerines, apples, bananas. There are so many options when it comes to fruits with their natural sweetness. You can even buy dried fruits or make them yourself at home. Crunchy vegetables are pretty popular with kids. A lot of them really like that texture. So that might include carrots, cucumbers, snap peas, or broccoli. You can even put in a dip to add in some protein or some healthy fats like some hummus or peanut butter. For really active kids, they may need some snacks throughout the day between meals to help keep them going as well. And so you might think about things like a string cheese, a yogurt, trail mix with limited candy, and maybe even a hard boiled egg.
And talking about giving them choices, empowering them, kind of letting them choose.
So kids love to have agency, and when you give them choices that you've pre-approved, this helps them feel involved in the process. So the parent's role is to choose which foods are available at meals and snacks, and then the kids get to choose from those options, and they also get to choose when they're full and when they're done eating. For instance, if you're at a snack time, you might say, hey, it's snack time right now. I've got yogurt or I've got string cheese for you, or maybe I've got a banana or a tangerine for you. What would you like to eat?
And talk about food as nourishment, not as entertainment or something to go to when you're bored.
Food is very important for nourishment and can provide a lot of enjoyment. I think a lot of us will say that we enjoy the process of eating. But when kids aren't hungry, but still eat because they're bored or they want something to do or they're kind of feeling sad, this comes with increased health risks for them. So it can lead to unhealthy relationships with food, decreased ability to recognize their own hunger or fullness cues, and increased risks for conditions in the future, such as obesity or high blood pressure.
You mentioned snacks before, healthy snacks. It doesn't necessarily mean, though, that you have to totally avoid cake, candy, ice cream, pizza, fast foods.
Yeah, I enjoy all of those foods too. And I think it's unrealistic to expect that kids are never going to eat any of those things. But I recommend eating them sparingly and not regularly and limiting portion sizes when we do.
Talk about leading by example. What should parents do to set the example?
Kids absolutely look to their parents as role models. So, as a parent or caregiver, you want to model the healthy eating behaviors you want to see in your kids. So, for example, that might be the things that you have available in your home. If we've got a lot of snacks at home that aren't that nutritious, you might want to consider limiting them or even taking them out of your home completely, which means the whole family gets on board with decreasing the snacking. At the dinner table, you might model not drinking a lot of sugary drinks and having some fruit flavored water instead of having juice or soda during your meals. We also recommend getting rid of screens during meals, so no TVs or tablets or phones, and instead using that time as an intentional time for the family to connect and eat together.
Talk about the need for more calcium as kids enter their teenage years.
As kids go into their teen years, they go through puberty, and part of that involves their growth spurt where their bones are growing faster. So, this means they need extra calcium, about 1,300 milligrams a day, compared to adults who we recommend about 1,000 milligrams a day. You can get calcium from foods like milk, cheese, and yogurt, but also from other foods such as tofu or salmon, or even some vegetables as well.
And what about the benefits of eating together with your kids? I know everybody's, particularly working parents, you're incredibly busy, you're rushing, trying to get food on the table. Talk about the benefits of eating together.
I always encourage family meals, and I know it's so tough for working parents, especially, but kids really like routine. It's a great time for parents to catch up with their kids. And at family meals, parents and caregivers can really model that healthy eating behavior and introduce kids to new foods. Kids who take part in regular family meals are more likely to eat fruits and vegetables and less likely to snack on unhealthy foods. And so, one way to involve them as well as they get older is maybe considering involving them in your meal planning or grocery shopping and talking about the different foods and their nutrition, and even teaching them cooking skills in an age appropriate way as they get older.
And what to watch out for. Are there any warning signs for your kids?
Yeah, so some signs that it might be more than just picky eating or other things going on might include things like excessive weight gain, or maybe even the opposite, weight loss or slower than expected growth. Maybe your kid is rejecting entire food groups or textures and won't eat them no matter what you do. Or maybe they're having a lot of fear around food or feelings such as pain or vomiting when they encounter certain foods. those would all be reasons to talk to your child's doctor to see if anything else is going on.
The bottom line is you are what you eat, is it not?
It absolutely is. And so when we talk about helping kids develop healthy eating habits, we really want to focus on getting that wide variety of foods from different food groups, especially those fruits and vegetables. We really want parents and caregivers to model healthy eating for their kids from a very young age. And if you're worried about your kids eating, don't hesitate to discuss with your child's pediatrician. That's why we're here.
Doctor, thanks so much for taking the time to be with us. We appreciate it.
Thank you for having me.
If you want more information on healthy eating habits for kids, just click on the link or go to scripps.org/videos. Want more critical information about your health? Please subscribe to our Scripps Health YouTube channel and follow us on social media at Scripps Health. At Scripps, we're here for good. I'm Susan Taylor. Thanks for joining us.